Alright, so I just want to make a video to give a few tips on tech flipping. Something like general that I think that it's good to know getting into it, because people coming into the hobby that don't really know how tech flipping works or how to do it, because there aren't that many tutorials on it. Might be wondering on other stuff about Balisongs and things like that, because I saw someone commented on it. So the first thing that I think is good to know is that if you want to learn tech flipping, the best way to do it is definitely to follow people on Instagram that are good at it. There are a few users I think of when I say that, and they are, first of all, it's Mystic Flips. Mystic Flips is really good at tech flipping, and is also good at coming up with new things, very good flow and stuff like that. Another flipper that I've been learning a lot from is Tien on Instagram. Also Oximity, Waver is also good, and there's also one more that I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, Loki Alt has like a repertoire of stories with ideas, with both short and long clips that you can look up, which is also a great source for learning. So like learning, the best way to learn is just through Instagram posts, honestly, because that's where most of the creative people post their stuff. I also saw someone ask about if it matters what you flip if you want to learn tech, and that's what I'm like, most of this video is going to be about, as I have brought a few Balisongs to discuss. So I'm mostly for clips flip my Kraken when I do it. This is a V3 Kraken from Squid Industries. And as you can see, the handles are square. They are pretty standard. This is like the gold standard, as it's been called for quite a few years now. The Balisongs come in like different shapes, weights, and stuff like that. This is like 4.3 ounces or something. So first off, the Cygnus is another Balisong that I've flipped quite a lot lately. The thing about the Cygnus is that it's got a bit more rounded handles, and the thing with rounded handles when you do tech flipping is that when you roll through your fingers like this, and especially doing things like this, I found it more likely that my finger will like slide around the edge like this and then flip the handle in my hand, so that when I come around, it's got a different orientation that I originally thought it would have. However, often when you do tech flipping, you have to be on the safe handle, like whatever you do. And if it turns unexpectedly, even if I grab it like this, or like this the other way, so I get the spine on the blade, or I get the other handle, I can still do that rotation over here. So with if I have it in this grip, for example, I can do this. And if I hold the safe handle again, but the blade edge is here, I can still do this. So it's not like it's going to happen to everyone, and that it's like something bad with rounded handles, because I really like the handles of the Cygnus. But I've had it happen more with this than with the Kraken, so that's just something to be aware of. That can happen. But most of the time you operate, like, as I said, on the safe handles, so you can figure something out as you go. So you wouldn't have to worry about the shape of the handles that much. I'll get back to that a bit later as well. But the size for me is like what matters probably the most, I think. This is the Edit Light from FlipForge, and the handles on this thing, they are, let me see if I can get the Kraken here as well with one hand. Yeah, as you can see, the handles are, handle difference is quite big. And what I've found with bigger handles, and especially the trainer blade here is very, very broad as well. So the thing I found with big handles and the broad blade is more often if you don't have the right momentum, you won't be able to transfer as easily, because this part that you are transferring, this part that you're transferring, this part, like with the blade and the blade handle, is so thick that it can be hard to like catch it properly. Like you miss this here, you like bump it into here, or instead the blade might come down and hit one of your fingers here. So I find it easier to have more, I don't want to say standard size handles, but for my preference, the handles on this are a bit big. But about the weight of plastic, works just as well with tech flipping as the Kraken or the Cygnus does. But yeah, this handle size would be a bit wary of that. I don't know that many Balisongs that have like thick handles like this do. It's this and maybe the V1 Firefly. I had one of those, but handles just weren't to my preference on that one, so I got rid of it. But yeah, well, again, it would depend on, for example, fingers and stuff like that. It might work just as well as anything else for someone with like smaller fingers. It might be harder for someone with bigger fingers. I have no idea, but I would assume so. So that's also just a thing to keep in mind if you have large fingers, I guess. Anyhow, over to thinner handles. This is one of the, like, I think it's the most mentioned beginner Balisong. It's the Nabalis Canyon. And the handles on this thing are fairly thin due to this thing being made out of steel. Now the weight distribution with the handles, to me personally, I think is very nice for like learning tech flipping. I find this to have like a good flow, solid flow, and like tech flipping doesn't have to be fast. You can like take your time with this thing and like go at a more of a learner's pace, like, because the momentum this one carries is very good in my opinion, so I don't have to go fast with this one. So if you're a beginner and you're just starting out and you're wondering what to go with for beginners, if you want to get into tech flipping as well, I mean, honestly, I would recommend the Canyon. Only thing I've been struggling a bit with the Canyon, due to it being a bit heavier and a bit not slippery, but there is something about the jumping to me when I do ladders. It might just be that it's like pretty heavy, so a lot of the weight like wants to come out of your hands when you do it, but you're fine. So yeah, thinner handles also is like the opposite of the wide ones. They like slip through your fingers more easily. And I'm dropping this a lot more though, but I find that the thinner handles of this is like suits tech flipping better. But I'm like uncertain of the weight because sometimes it's just like a bit heavy for my preference. But it's a really, really good starting point. What I want to say just to end off this video, because I'm like, sounds like I'm kind of restricting and saying like this is better than this and this is better than that. But honestly, when it comes to tech flipping, I mean, you could tech anything that's like, doesn't have to be to your preference either, like at all. Like you can just tech flip pretty much everything. Like you just have to get used to it, and when you get used to doing like a couple of tricks, and when you get somehow like somewhat consistent with them, I mean, you can take anything. Like this. I don't think I want to do a short stop with that thing. I could try. Oh. Yeah. This is just some cheap curved Cisco Balisong that I got off the Wish or something. Lots of years back. I have no idea how long I had this for. It's one of my first ones, actually. I didn't really get into flipping back then when I got this one, but you can you can take pretty much everything, but not everything performs as well. So yeah, I'll leave the Instagram tags that I mentioned at the start of the video. I'll leave them in the description. And other than that, that's really about it. You can take pretty much every Balisong out there, so it's just about finding your preference. But now you know what I think about it, about weight, handle size, handle shape. So you can do whatever you want with that, and that's about it.